Hello there. In this episode I show you basic things to do in Linux Mint when you have installed it. For example, how to update it and menus and so on. And I have an important question to you, so stay with me. My question is, what do you think I should do a video about? For example, should I do about the Linux terminal, which I'm going to show you later in this video, or something else? Write in the comments what you think. But now we dive into the computer. Now you see how it looks when Linux Mint starts. The first thing you meet when you have installed Linux and start it, it's the Welcome to Linux Mint dialog. So we're going through it. To the left we have Welcome, the text you see now, and then we have first steps, and it's good to looking through this. You can choose a theme, system snapshots. It's to restore the computer if something in the system going wrong, and you can then take it to the previous working state. Driver manager. There we can see if we have some drivers, proprietary drivers to install. I'm going to show that a little later. Update manager, also I'm going to show that a little later. System settings, software manager, and firewall, how to launch it. Firewall can be really good for the safety, but it's not the number one in safety. Absolutely number one is to have a safe password. It should be a password that is very difficult to guess what it is, and has at least 12 characters, some numbers and some special letters. And also, would I say number one in safety, to get to a safe password, it's to update the system at least a couple of times a week. Then we have documentation, and it's a lot documentation to Linux. You can find a lot on the web, but you can also look at the documentation. Help, there is a lot of help too. Many people is ready to help you if you get some trouble. The problem I found, many of them things that everyone else can a lot about Linux and how to do things. So some of them is not so helpful. They can be quite mean when you ask something. And you can also contribute to Linux Mint. And there's several ways to do that. Please, if you install Linux Mint, go through this and click launch, step by step. You can unmark, show this dialog at startups, and you can get the dialog via the menus. If you're going through the menu down here, if you right click on the menu, you get some choices to add a new panel and get system settings and little other things. I'm not going through this because normally this is not nothing you need to click on. I'm using a laptop, and we get the battery state. If I click it, we can get the power settings, information about the battery. Then we have the volume control, so it's easy to change the volume. and getting to the sound settings. Network. If you have a wireless network, you can choose one of the networks in this menu, but I have only a wired connection just now. And you can get the settings and so on, but normally you don't need to change any settings. Then you have the notification. In this case we have one notification, and that is the Ethernet connection is connected. And we can click don't show this message again, so because we don't need it. Then we have the update manager, coming back to that. And then system reports. We can click on that, and it runs some system checks, and that will launch time shift. And this is what we talked about earlier, to go to a snapshot of the system. You can restore the system. Then in the left menu, system information. Then we get some information about the computer, battery, CPU. We have a single core Intel Core i7. I have a special Intel Core i7. And we get some other Ethernet card, partitions, USB information, and so on. And then we have a cache report. It's possible to send a cache report if something goes wrong. And it's also possible to refresh all this. I close it. Have the system updated is very important. I haven't clicked at anything. This came up. This is the update manager. If I close this, you can get it via this. Click on it and it will open. And then we have a welcome screen. We click OK. And then it reads if it has some updates, and we have a lot of them. You can switch to local mirror. By that, that means that you can choose a server with these files that are closer to you, so it's faster to download. But I skip that step for now. To install updates, click install updates. Sometimes this dialog appears. If it finds extra files that needs to be installed, then this will show up. And we click OK. And then your password and authenticate. And it downloads the files, and we click this arrow, we can see all the downloads. Now it installs all the downloaded files. In this case, it installs a new kernel. The kernel that holds most of the drivers in the computer, and is a layer between the motherboard in the hardware in the computer and the applications. So the applications talks to the kernel, and the kernel talks to the hardware. I minimize this so we can go on. This is the update manager that I minimized. Then we have the terminal. Here we can print commands. If we want to see the files in the home folder, we can write ls and press enter. this is folders in the home folder. For example, you can see how long time the system has been up. The uptime for the system is 15 minutes. One user, it's me. Next we have the web browser. In this case it is Firefox. We can change file browser if we want, and I'm going to show that too. And this is Files, File Manager. For me, I think this is a better file manager than it is in Windows. Next, then we have the menu, and we have some buttons in the menu, and then we have all the applications, and it's quite a lot applications. First, we have Firefox web browser, same as on the panel. Then we have a software manager, system settings, terminal, files, and lock. Here you can lock the computer, log out from the computer. If you press lock, it will lock the computer immediately. Log out, we can click on it, and this menu appears. You can switch user if it's some other user in the system. Log out. In this case we choose cancel, so I can show you more. Then you have the quit button. We press that. And here you can suspend, restart or shut down the computer. And cancel. Then we cancel the dialog. If you want to download another web browser, then we can open the software manager. This is the first start of it, so it takes some time. In the software manager, you can search for software, or you can click on a featured software to install. But in this case we want to change the web browser. So we can, for example, click on the internet category, and there is a lot, but we can click on web, and there is a lot too. So it can be hard to find what you want, but we can search for web browser. Then we have some of them. Firefox, and you can see this marking that it is installed. LibreWolf, Chromium, Epiphany, and Falcon, Concorder, and a lot more. We can, for example, install Chromium, and we click on it, and we click install. And then we need the user password, or the root user password, and press authenticate. The first user on the system will be the root user, and that's the only one that can install things and do system changes and so on, where it needs a root password. The root user have the administrator privilege. Now it's installed, and we can click either launch now or go to the start menu and internet. And here we have it. So easy to install most of the applications that you need. It's about 30,000 applications to choose between. so you should find most of what you need. That was the software manager. If you want to change the appearance, either we go to preferences, then we can change the background and a lot of other things. And here we have the welcome screen. We can go through that. First steps and desktop colors. We press launch and we can choose a style. We choose Mint L. Then you see the colors will be changed. You can click dark. And this blue one. This will change. The green one. And you can do advanced settings too. We can go to driver manager and click launch. But we doesn't need any driver. A big difference when you if you, for example, have a printer that you attach to a computer. Most of the times Linux kernel will have drivers for that. Just a few seconds later use it. In Windows you can sometimes wait for minutes to use it. So it's much faster in Linux if the kernel have the drivers. Now we're going through some basic things in Linux. How to update, how to change the visual look, how to install software, and so on. It was that for this time, and please write a comment if you have some wishes about what I should do a video about. Don't forget to subscribe and click thumbs up. It will help my channel a lot. Oh, thank you for this time and see you in next video.